Welcome to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast, with your hosts, Mike Mannino and Nariman Hamden, bringing you insights and stories on achieving personal, professional, and financial success.
Hi, I'm Michael Mannino. Welcome to Driven Unscripted Podcast. Today we've got Robert Miller, who's a professional hair. I'm going to say this the right way. I'm having a hard time with this one.
You can say cosmetologist. That'd be a better bet.
Cosmetologist. All right,
Yeah.
beautiful. And he's right now currently out of Naples, Florida, and he's enjoying the beautiful weather where most of the states
That's
are
right.
freezing their butts off on January of 2025. I would like to introduce a young man and see what he has to say about this. Could you do me a quick favor and give me some introductions? Like, what do you do, and where you're at, how long you've been doing it, stuff like that.
Yes, thank you, Michael. And I appreciate the young man thing. And once you get to be my age, anytime somebody says young man, you just grasp onto it and say, all right, thank you so much. But yes, I am in Naples. I've been down here since 1977. And I ended up getting my hair salon in the year 2000. I've been doing hair since 1981. So that's where the young man thing comes in, because I'm not as young as you say, but thank you so much for that. But I live life like a young man anyway. And but no, I enjoy it. It's called non-surgical hair replacement. And what it is when somebody comes to me and they are having problems with balding or areas that have already been bald or heredity, then I'll make what I call a mold, and then I will send that into a distributor, and they will make what we would call a hair piece out of that. And then when that comes to me, it just comes as just a big blob of hair. And so what I do then is I take, it's called surgical glue, and I put that down on the person's scalp, and then I go ahead and cut in the hair so that it blends with the person's own hair, and it is virtually undetectable. In fact, I don't know if you'd remember the old Hair Club for Men ads, and it's kind of like
I'm old enough to remember those.
Well, it's kind of like the same old kind of thing. In fact, when I started losing my hair, I went to one of those Hair Club for Men places, and it wasn't right for me at that time, so I backed back out of it. But a couple of years later, I went completely bald, and I was like, man, I just can't do this. I'm a musician. I need to have some hair. And so
I need to have some hair. That was awesome.
That's right. And so I found a guy locally in Naples that specialized. I would see his ads on non-surgical hair replacement. And I was working as a nurse. And so I went in, talked with him, and he did the whole process for me. My wife liked it. I liked it. And I've been doing it ever since. And so since about 1998, I've been a customer myself.
Nice. If you don't mind me, digging deeper into this,
Sure.
this is very interesting to me. When you said non-surgical, I was like, wait a minute, everybody
Yeah,
should be having this on. How
that's
long
right.
does this last if they put it on their head, and if you install it, how long does it typically last?
It typically lasts about 4 weeks,
Okay.
and you can do everything that you normally would do. It becomes you. You shower, you can go swimming, you can go boating, you could do whatever you want, and it's all 100% human hair. So if you wanted to color it, you wanted to perm it, you wanted to highlight it, you could still do all that too.
Oh, okay, cool. Very cool. Very, very, very cool.
Yeah,
I've heard of that, like doing anything you want kind of thing, and it's human hair.
it is. It's 100% human hair.
Wow, that's
I
crazy.
always like to joke around and say, because people would say, well, because when you get a different one each time, my clients usually about every 3 months they get a new system, and they'll say this one feels a little bit different than the last one. I said, yeah, but I don't know what horse they got that one from. So
Uh,
you just never know. So, I just joke around with them like that. But no, it's all 100% human hair. And it usually comes out of India.
okay. All right. Is it colored and shaped a certain way? You get to determine that?
Well, I'm the one that does all that. When it comes to me, like I said, it comes on like a what I call a weft. It's like a netting kind of a thing.
Gotcha.
And when it comes to me, it's usually 6 inches all around it. And then once I put it on the person's head, then I go ahead and start cutting it down to where it'll blend in with their own hair.
That's absolutely awesome. That's crazy. I'm gifted with a big head of hair, but if I didn't, I'd definitely give you a call and come see you. That's
Yeah. Thanks.
I got another question for you. So, like, there's other competitors out there, right? And you do what you do, and you're doing a pretty good job of what you're doing. What sets you
Thank you.
apart? What things, what are the things that come easy to you that would be hard to other people or other industries in that field?
Well, I was blessed to work under the gentleman that when I bought the business, it was the guy that was actually doing my hair. And after seeing him for about a year, he started saying, how long you been a nurse? I told him, and he said, you think about ever getting out? I said, nah. And he said, but you used to cut hair. I said, yeah, I cut hair. I still cut hair once in a while. So he actually talked me into coming to work for him. And I worked for him for about maybe 7, 8 months. And I didn't realize that he was grooming me because he wanted to retire. He was at the age where he was ready to retire, but he had a lot of clients that he just did not want to retire from.
Wow.
And so
Sounds like you had a good book coming in, stepping into the business.
I did. I was very blessed with all of that. I never owned a business before, so I was terrified. I didn't know where I would go from there. But he was an awesome guy and taught me everything I needed to know, taught me the business end, because hairstylists aren't really business people. We go in more like an artist and we just do our thing. But I had to actually learn how to do business, and so he taught me the whole QuickBooks and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, and it worked out great from there. And I said, well, I don't have the money to buy this business. And he said, well, we're not going to worry about that. I'm going to carry the note. We're going to go to a lawyer, and you're going to pay me for as long as it takes to get it paid off. And so we did that whole transaction. And the hard part of it was when I actually bought the business, we signed the papers on September 13th of 2001. And that was one of the hardest things because we had just went through the 9/11 ordeal 2 days before that. And but we had already had that lawyer set for like 4 weeks. And so the lawyer said, look, if you're going to do it, we got to do it. So we went ahead and still did it.
But you wouldn't look back if you had to. It was awesome, right?
That's right.
Yeah. That's what everybody says when they start their own business.
Yeah.
With people listening to, the crews that are listening to all this stuff, and they want to get better at what you're doing. What's your suggestions? What's your tips and tricks for that?
Well, the really nice thing is right now there's a lot of internet stuff that's out there that people can follow. Back then, they didn't really have a lot of stuff on the internet. But what I would tell people is if you're a cosmetologist, learn how to become a barber. And that is the number one key, because when you're cutting in a new hair system, it's not like being a regular hairstylist where you just do vertical cuts. It doesn't work like that. It will not blend. It will look ridiculous when they walk out of there. And once you've glued that on, you're not going to take that back off because it's solid. And so that was the thing. The gentleman that taught me, he said, you gotta forget everything you know as a cosmetologist, at least for a couple months, until I teach you how to become a barber. And that's what worked. And so now I got the best of both worlds. I can still do regular hair, and I also do the hair replacement.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. That's kind of an artwork, though. It's kind of a practice and do and be good at or not,
Yes,
isn't it?
that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
And you gotta make a ton of mistakes to really get good at it.
That's that's a gift. You know, as a matter of fact, I have to name this podcast. I think I'm gonna this episode. I'm gonna say a ton of mistakes to get good at it. That's great. Um, it sounds like things are going pretty well for you right now in your business, and you're looking forward to the future. Wondering how do you turn your active income into passive income, or what do you do with the money that you invest, what you make from it? Do you invest, or what do you do?
Yeah, in fact, I'm only a couple years away from retirement myself. So,
Nice.
um, yeah, thank you. And I'll be turning 65 this year, and so it's been a wonderful run. And I actually have a gentleman at my salon who's 84, and he's still going at it strong. And so every time I tell him, man, I'm ready to retire, he goes, oh no, he said, you still got 20 more years just like me. And so we joke around about it a lot. But my wife, she's a school teacher, and she's got 6 more years to retirement. And she's laid down the law to me. She said, you will retire when I'm retired, because she wants to travel. And when you say, what do I do with my money? I give it to the chairman of the board. I give it to her, and she's the one that
Nice. Nice.
she's a genius when it comes to this stuff. And so I just give it right to her.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, if you give it to the people that do it the best.
That's right.
There you go. There you go. Um, as we're wrapping up this interview, I was wondering if you what your plans are. Well, you're kind of giving me like what's your next steps? What's your plans for the next 6 to 12 months? But you're kind of saying that you're getting some. Do you have your Padawan learner that you're gonna show him how to keep doing what you're doing and sell the business to him, or what?
No, I haven't been blessed with that yet, but hey,
Okay.
it's still early, so you never know.
You never know. Yeah, I always got to look for him. You got to look for him or her. You know, my daughter's
That's right.
my daughter's a kind of oh God, anesthetician. Not a, am I saying it wrong? Anesthetician.
Esthetician,
That's not the person that
esthetician.
knocks somebody out.
Oh, anesthetist.
So she's an anesthetician, just like you were said from the beginning. She started off working at a makeup studio. She was planning on being a teacher, just like your wife. And
Cool.
everybody gave her the advice of not to do it, not to be. And then she
Not to be a
became
school teacher.
not to be a school teacher.
Oh,
And then
boy.
she fell into cosmetology. I'm going to say it like that, and makeup artist. And
Okay. Yeah.
now she does it for a living professionally. She owns her own business, and
Wonderful.
I know. She had to show me that you guys can make good money doing that stuff. It kind of blew my mind when I was paying it. You know, it's like, hey, you can't quit school, you know?
That's
And
right.
she goes, "No, I'm gonna make more money, Dad. Trust me." She showed me.
Well,
She
that's
showed
great that
me.
she's got the drive. I mean, and that's what it takes, because you have to build a clientele. They're not going to just come running to you. The thing that I'm just been very lucky with is, back when I went to this gentleman, he already had uh, the largest hair replacement company in Naples. And so when I bought it, I was able to even expand more and open another location. And
How many you got now?
I just have two,
Okay.
but one in Fort Myers and one in Naples. But
That's why you're in Fort Myers today?
no, actually, I'm in Fort Myers because I am also a director of nursing. And so I went out to see a patient today to see if they're eligible to come and live at the facility where I direct nursing at.
Awesome. Well, you do a lot more than most people, that's for sure.
I
Two
like to call
businesses,
myself
you're on a board of director for nursing. Oh my gosh.
yeah, well, I like to call myself a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
And that's one little piece of advice I would throw out to your daughter is, yeah, go ahead and earn the money while you can. But if you got other interests, please, please, please do not put those on the side. Just go for it. My wife's ready to kick me out because I also like building guitars, and I just opened up a guitar store. And so I have 148 guitars now that she said, man, I don't know what to do with you. And And so I don't know.
Well, it
But
sounds like you're busier than anybody has ever been ever. Oh my gosh. The guitar
more than
you still cut hair and you have two companies and you're on a board for nursing. Okay, that's
yes.
more than enough for most people. That's more than enough for 5 people.
Well, you do what you got to do as long as you can do it on this side of the grass. That's what I say.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Hey, Robert, thank you so much for your time today and sharing your insights and tips with us. Really do appreciate it. Thanks for
It's been my total pleasure. Thank you so much.
It's been ours. Hey, listen, for everybody, if you have any questions or comments, how can they get in touch with you if anybody from the audience would like to talk to you?
I will freely give them my phone. It's 239-248-1014, or they can contact me on my email. It's nurserob, NURSEROB _99
Awesome. Well, if anybody would like to talk to him, he's very open and honest with what his success is. And if you guys, hey, if anybody's looking to start a new business and wants to learn how to do, I can't say hair replacement, non-cosmetic hair replacement,
non-surgical hair replacement.
non-surgical hair replacement.
That means it's non-invasive. You do not cause any kind of bleeding at all.
That sounds weird. Yeah, I like your way better than sticking needles in me all day long. It's like the fun one. Well, listen, thanks again for the interview. Really do appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to Driven, the Unscripted Success Podcast. Want to share your story? Apply to be a guest at drivensuccesspodcast.com/guest.